Hey, I want to welcome you guys back to my channel. And on today's episode, we are discussing mental health awareness, in particular for my service providers. Anybody who is a service based entrepreneur, this video is for you. I'm going to break down 5 things you can do to make your mental health a priority as a service provider. So if you provide a service, I don't care if it is hair, nails, makeup, lashes, if you're a barber, whatever you do in the salon industry and you run your own business, this video is for you. So I'm going to break down really quickly a good 5 things you can do to make your mental health a priority so that you can continue to provide great services for your clients. So before we get into some of the tips I want to share with you guys, I want to just briefly discuss some of the things I experienced in my career. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have been doing this for over 20 years, and there were a lot of ups and downs in my career. I have suffered from depression in the past. I have also suffered from anxiety. Anxiety was like a major thing that would happen to me early on in the week. Every week I would start getting anxious if I didn't see people booking. Just the uncertainty and the unpredictability that this career can have. It can create a lot of anxiety, and I was one of those people that I was extremely affected. So what I begin to do is just realize ways that I can minimize the stress that comes from being in this type of career. I even went through a phase where I decided I didn't even want to do this anymore. Like I was literally planning my escape. And in the midst of me doing that, I wound up cutting my finger, which y'all can see. I don't know if y'all can see my scar. Y'all see that? Okay. So I cut my finger. It doesn't look like much now, but I cut my finger and I ended up in the hospital. I had to get an emergency surgery and I couldn't use my hand like from a cut. I went into the ER and they were just like, "Oh no, we got to keep you and we have to operate tomorrow morning. Like this is serious." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like it's a cut." Now I was in a whole lot of pain, but I didn't argue with them because I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. I haven't been able to sleep. In 2 days, my finger was like this big. It was next level pain, but they wound up doing an emergency surgery on me. And during that time, I was able to just sit and really think about my career and why I decided to switch gears, which made me end up in the hospital needing surgery on my finger. And I just felt like that was a sign that it was like, no, you're not done. You're not done. This is what you're supposed to be doing. You just have to take charge of yourself and your business. Run your business. Stop letting your business run you. Jana, you need to run your business. And so I'm going to share with you 5 things that I decided to implement in my business that have led me to the place that I am today, which is a salon owner, salon/salon suite owner. I make a great amount of money and I'm able to make what I was making when I was working 7 days a week. I make that working 3 days a week now. So what I was able to do, I want to share that with you guys so that you guys can make your mental health a priority, your happiness a priority, and have the career that you want, that you dream of and that you desire, because it can definitely be done. I am living proof that it can happen. So, the first thing you need to do is make sure you have some balance between your life and in your career. And I'm creating a community around this, as well as a podcast called Booked and Balanced. Be on the lookout for episodes from that. Aside from all of that, balance is key, right? Balance is super duper important in this career. And I say that because there will be times when you're giving work everything you have, and then there's nothing left for you, for your family. And then there will be times when you're giving your family everything you got, and then your career is suffering. But when your career is suffering, your coins are suffering. How do we find balance? Simple. We get clear about what we want, why we want it, and how we're going to achieve it. So the first thing you need to do is think about what all you are doing. How is all of that serving you? At one point, I was a stylist that did everything. I did everything and I wouldn't turn any money down. And I realized that that was very counterproductive. It was like I'm thinking everything I'm doing is for the money, but then I'm not even able to enjoy the money because I'm working too hard, right? And I had to think about what things I enjoyed doing, right? So you will not love doing everything that you offer in the salon, but there will be things that you're good at. Then there will be things that you're great at. Focus on what you're good and what you're great at and let the other stuff fall by the wayside. The next thing you want to do is figure out where you're slacking, right? What do you need to focus more on? What is being neglected? Do you want to be able to spend more time with your children? Do you want to be able to spend more time with your spouse? Do you want just more time for yourself? Do you feel like you're always burning the candle at both ends? If that is the case, what would change that? What would change that? And we have to stop allowing money to be the motivation for us, because in the end, ultimately, it's about freedom. It's about enjoying our lives. So then think about your work and say, hey, maybe if I take one extra day off a week and adjust my prices, then I could get more of both of the things that I long for: more money and more time to do X, Y, Z, whatever that is for you. The second thing you can do to lessen your stress at work would be to be very transparent up front about what you require from your clients. This allows you to do your job more sufficiently. This will allow you to do your job faster, right? This will allow you to build a better rapport with your client and be able to predict what you need to do and what it's going to take to provide the service. For instance, a lot of people will come in and say they want a certain style, but they don't tell you everything that's going on in their lives, what they've done to their hair, and then the outcome may not be what they desired. Well, we got to kind of work together to get there, right? So that can be stressful for not just the hairdresser, but for the client, especially when you're dealing with new clients. So the best way to handle situations like that would be to be very upfront with your client. If a client is unsure about what they need and what they want, have them book a consultation, a welcoming packet or some type of form for them to fill out so that you are very clear up front about what it's going to take and what you can provide for them. And that it can become very stressful meeting a client for the first time or dealing with a client who's just not consistent, right? She's not listening and doing what you're asking her to do. And that can trickle over into your business. And listen, one crazy client can ruin a whole day. The third thing that you can do is to start your day off on a positive note. Start your day off on a positive note. I try to listen to positive affirmations in the morning, read something positive, write down your goals for the day. You can kind of envision your day ahead of time. Like, look at your schedule. This is who I have. This is how it's going to go. Envision it. Meditating is a great thing to do. Just waking up a little earlier and taking some time for yourself, some quiet time can really help make the rest of your day go a lot smoothly, right? And limit that stress you will have from just going and going and going. When I get up in the morning, if I don't get up a little earlier than my children, sometimes my day just starts off completely out of control. Like, if I get up and I got to get them right up and then I got to get them dressed and, then it's getting the clothes and the food and the backpacks and the snacks and getting them out the door for the bus, it can start my day off kind of crazy. And if it's one of those days where I don't get to relax before I have to leave for work, sometimes I don't come into work with the right energy, right? And then the clients experience that. And the last thing you want is for your clients to feel like you don't appreciate their business, right? You don't want your clients to feel like you are just not in the mood. Like, you don't want them clients to pick up on that. Now, the fourth thing I would say when it comes to running the actual business, a lot of us are wearing so many hats. A lot of us are doing the back end work and the front end work. We are managing finances, we are doing budgets, we are doing inventory, we are the cleaning lady, we are the service provider, we are the receptionist, we are the therapist, and then we go home to the other job as mom. You know, we do a lot. We are doing a whole hell of a lot. So, with that being said, delegate. The best thing you can do is see which things you can take off your plate and get somebody else to do it. I used to be the person that would be like, why would I spend the money on that when I could do it myself? Or if I go pay somebody to do something and it's not to my standards, I'm pissed that I spent the money. So, in the event that you decide that you want to hire somebody, be very clear about what you require from them. That way you don't feel like you're wasting your money. You're getting some of the weight lifted off of your shoulder and you're freeing up some time for you to focus on yourself and on your loved ones, right? You can focus more on your mental health. You're not running around bogged down by all the responsibilities that you have, because you have to remember you are only one person and you're only as good as you can perform, and you can't do it all. Okay, so get somebody else to do it. And then the fifth thing you can do, if all else fails, get a therapist. Get a therapist or someone that you can talk to. Sometimes it's better to just get stuff out. I remember a time in my life when I was extremely stressed. I was actually in a state of depression, and I started journaling. I did not see the value in talking to someone at that time. I might have been a little embarrassed about what I was dealing with and what I was going through, but I knew I needed to get it out of me and off of me. So I just began journaling and praying. And I'm telling y'all, if nothing else, get that stress out of you, write it down. And not only should you write down um, how you're feeling, but write down what you want and write it down in a way that you already have it. So to this day, I don't journal like I used to, but I will write down things that I want to manifest in my life, whether there are things that situations that I want to change or things that I just want to acquire. I will say I am at peace, or I feel my best, or I am capable of doing everything that God puts on my heart to do. I am successful. Make sure you write these things down and say it like you mean it. You would be surprised how things start to change overnight because it is a mindset shift. Just getting things off of you or putting things in a different perspective can just lighten the load and make life so much more enjoyable for you. So, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, I challenge you to do at least two of these things. Do at least two of these things and see how your life changes. And if I had to pick two that I think you should do right now, as soon as this video goes off, I would say go and look at your list of services that you offer and see which ones you can remove. And when it comes to the ones that you enjoy doing, market those more and raise the prices on them and see how that goes for you. And then the next thing I would say that you do is definitely journal, definitely talk to somebody, or write your affirmations in the I am form and watch how your business and your life begins to transform. All right, y'all. So until my next video, peace out.